to another episode of the Therapy with Rikki Podcast. As we talk about conversations that you can feel, I am your host, Rikki McCoy, a licensed therapist in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am so excited to be here with you today as we talk about another great topic. Before we get started, y'all know how I do. I want y'all to check in. I want you to ask yourself how you're doing, how you feeling, what you need in this moment. I hope that you have had a great week. It is almost the weekend. We have made it through another week of life, y'all, and we deserve to celebrate all the things, big and small, okay? If you are new to me, welcome. I'm so glad to be here and hold space for you. We talk about real conversations that you can feel here around self-care, mental health, everyday life, and wellness. I am a holistic therapist specializing in all things holistic, making sure that my people know how to connect mind, body, and spirit. That is my jam. That is what I do. And today I wanted to talk to you all about a very important topic, a very simple topic to me. Sometimes I think I forget because I live in mental health world. I live in therapy, every day, all day. But I want to talk to you all about when to see a therapist, why it's a good idea to see a therapist, how seeing a therapist may be beneficial. Again, this is something that I just sometimes assume that people know. And as we break stigmas, as we break barriers around mental health treatment, I know that's not a thing, right? It's just a thing in my world. So I want to share with you all when is a good time to see a therapist and how it can be beneficial to your life. First and foremost, as a therapist, I see people for a lot of reasons, right? I'm talking just all everyday life reasons, y'all. All right. So you may be going through a transition. That transition could be young adulthood. So I see a lot of college students who are going to college and they're navigating how to become an adult, right? How to be on their own, how to deal with their mental health and their wellness, and also deal with their workload and their responsibilities in college, right? Or they may be on some other path and they're just trying to figure out what adulthood looks like for them, right? And then we navigate that space and we navigate corporate America, like how to get a job, how to live as an adult in this day-to-day thing that we call life, right? And so those are different transitions that people experience that we don't always assume. I think we assume that they're easy, but there are a lot of challenges that come up when you are transitioning from home to a new environment, meeting new people, moving out of state, some of those kind of things, right? So a move, that's a transition. Loss, right? Grieving somebody that may have passed, grieving a relationship that no longer exists, right? So we talk about breakups, we talk about marriages, right? People coming together, and how sometimes we lose ourselves, or we might have a fear of losing ourselves in a marriage, and so we lose that I don't want to say independence, but we lose that just the singleness of, okay, now I'm about to unite with somebody, and what does that look like for me? How do I make sure that I don't lose myself in that experience, right? We navigate having children, right? Whether it's difficulty having children and processing that, expectations around having children and being a parent, right? How to wear the many different hats that we wear as parents, as spouses, in our work environments, right? We may be navigating a work environment, navigating corporate America, navigating work relationships. Therapy is a good place to work through relationship troubles in general. So like learning how to communicate, learning how to express yourself in relationships. Therapy is a great place to come and learn how to do that. I've helped people get married. I've helped people get divorced, right? And really gain confidence around their abilities to live life the way that they want to live life, right? People pleasers, right? You may be a person that needs to learn how to communicate and express your boundaries, and so come into therapy to learn how to express yourself. Sometimes it's very hard to put words to your emotions, and therapy is a great place to do that as well. And then you can learn how to express yourself in those relationships in your life, right? You may be learning how to break generational patterns or cycles and creating a healthier way of living for yourself. And you may feel very isolated or lonely on that journey. And coming to therapy is a great place for you to just let it out, right? To take off all that armor that we wear as we navigate this thing called life. All the things that we put in place to protect ourselves. Therapy is a place where you can come. It's non-judgmental. It's safe. And you can just let it all go. Okay? You can just be you. Be human. You can be seen and validated in your emotions and in your experiences, right? You can come to therapy and learn how to process your thoughts, right? Learn how to be accountable for negative thinking and how to reframe or gain a different perspective on the things that may be going on in your life. Therapy is a great place for that as well. And so there's all kind of reasons to come to therapy, y'all. You do not have to be, I do not like this word. And so messaging is very important when we talk about how to break barriers in mental health, especially in the African American community. You do not have to be crazy to come to therapy. You do not have to have a crisis to come to therapy, right? We talk about our wins in therapy too, not just our downs, not just our losses, right? And so therapy is just a safe place for you to be, for you to process, for you to feel. I have some people who come to therapy and that is the only time that they have for themselves that week, right? And so it's you making a commitment to put yourself on your calendar so that you can validate your experiences in this life that we're living, y'all. So I think a lot of times we might overthink the process, right? But therapy is very beneficial. Clients love coming to therapy. I think it's very important to find a therapist that you can relate to, that can understand you, your background, where you come from, your cultural differences, and so that they can help you support. It just helps to have somebody that you feel like can understand how you feeling, how you speak, your language, all of those things. So there are many different ways to find a therapist. You can, if you have insurance, you can reach out to your insurance and they can give you a whole list of therapists who take your insurance. And I just say do your research, right? Therapists specialize in all different kind of things, right? So I specialize in self-care, anxiety, stress management, and depression. I work with people who experience a lot of transitions as well. But there may be therapists who specialize in trauma, therapists who specialize in anxiety, right? You have marital therapists, right? And so there's different types of therapists who specialize in different things, but there are directories for therapists as well. And I'll make sure to put a couple of directories in the show notes. You have therapy for Black girls. You have Black female therapists. There's another one, Psychology Today, where you can go on these directories. You can type in your zip code, what you're looking for, what they specialize in, their availability, your insurance, their rates, all of these things, and find a therapist that works for you and your life, okay? And then you can interview your therapist. You can get a phone consultation, y'all. And connect with your therapist before you make a commitment, right? Maybe reach out to a few therapists before you make a commitment so that you can make sure that it is a good fit for you, right? And so I do offer consultations where I will speak to clients, get a good feel for them. I will ask them what kind of questions they have about starting therapy, if they have any hesitations or worries about the process. And then I will also ask them questions too, just to make sure we're a good fit for each other. It is okay. Not everybody is a good fit. We all have different personalities and different styles, and it's okay. So I don't want you to get discouraged if you have selected or picked a therapist in the past that hasn't worked for you. try again. Keep going. Sometimes we have to find the right match for us, almost like dating, right? So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your experience. And don't give up on your journey, right? It could be a very beautiful, transformative experience, y'all. And I think it's definitely something for you to try, for sure. So if you may notice like sadness. You may notice that you don't feel like yourself. You're not able to get up and go. You don't feel motivated. You may have issues processing some of those kind of emotions. That's going to be a great place and a great reason to go to therapy as well. Stressful events you don't really know how to handle. Daily life challenges or struggles you don't know how to handle. Medical conditions and mental health conditions that you may not know how to handle, right? And so the outcome is better communication with people. You're able to use that throat chakra and speak up for yourself. You may witness better sleep, a better mood, right? Feeling empowered to go out and tackle and conquer life and do all the things. Development of coping skills. I'm really big on self-care, and so for me, I like to make sure that my clients understand how to create a self-care routine and really maintain so that we are proactive and not reactive when life happens. Because if there's one thing that we can all agree on, is that life is gonna life be lifing now. Y'all know life be lifing. So being proactive and not reactive to the experience really helps you feel confident in navigating the not so great emotions, right? Being happy every day does not exist. Sometimes we have to make choices to raise our vibration and to boost our mood and our energy, and that's okay. We have to normalize that is a real, genuine human experience, okay? It's really what you do with those emotions that determines the outcome, okay? So we're gonna feel down sometimes. We might feel sad sometimes. Your therapist will be able to assess you and ask you some other questions just to kind of see like the frequency, like how long we've been feeling this way, what kind of episodes you might be having. So if there is a more serious mental health diagnosis there, they can help you navigate that. But it's a great place to come and process your everyday emotions, okay? And gain a different perspective. Like I said, it's okay to admit that there's more than one way to do something, right? There's more than one way to see a situation. We all have different backgrounds and different experiences and different perspectives on life. And so if we're going to be in community, if we're going to be in relationships with one another, then we have to learn how to communicate with each other to have healthy relationships and healthy connections, okay? So like I said earlier, there are different types of therapy. There's individual therapy, which is what I do, and that's just one-on-one therapy. We come in, we're talking about you, your stuff, your goals for therapy, and what you want to do. There's family therapy. Sometimes family is brought in for help or for support or to learn how to support an individual who may be struggling with something. And then there is family therapy, just to talk about the different dynamics in the family and how the family can function together better as a unit, right? There's couples therapy, where couples go in and talk about their goals together, right? And how they can function as a couple together and be their best selves in the relationship. And then you also have group therapy, which is a way for you to show up in a space with other peers talking about similar topics or discussions. And what it really does is to help people understand that you are not alone. I love group work because it shows you that you're not alone. It shows you that there are other people that are going through life and going through some of the same emotions and experiences as you are. And so you may notice a lot of therapists may have groups that they offer, and there may be, face-to-face groups or virtual groups. And therapy can also be face-to-face or virtual nowadays. And so there is an option to do therapy. The difference, I think, we hear a lot about therapy, and then we hear a lot about coaching or wellness coaching or life coaching, right? And there are a few differences that I want to share. Therapy really helps you to manage your mental health and your wellness. And so with therapy, sometimes you may go a little deeper, as you might talk about things from the past, whereas coaching focuses more so on right now and the future, right? And so they don't really dig too deep in the past. There's also a difference in how you pay for the services as well. So therapy, you may be able to use your insurance for, or you can pay out of pocket. But for coaching, you're going to be paying out of pocket. It's not covered by insurance, right? There are different accreditations for therapy versus coaching. So a therapist has gone to school and they have a graduate degree or a doctorate degree in that mental health profession. They also have obtained a certain amount of hours for licensure to be licensed in the state or the states that they're licensed in. And so a therapist can be licensed in multiple states. I get this a lot on social media. The therapist has to be licensed in the state that you live in. So if I'm in Georgia and you're in, let's say, Louisiana, I would have to be licensed in Georgia to do therapy with you. Okay? Now, coaching is different. Coaching can be done across the state lines. And so those are some of the differences. Coaching is not going as deep as therapy would go. And you also cannot bill insurance for coaching. And if you reach out to a therapist and get frustrated, or you find a therapist that you like on social media or the internet, they do have to be licensed in your state. And that is just a ethical law. It's for safety. It's a little deeper than us talking about it here today, but there are reasons for those type of protections, okay? And so that's my piece. I just wanted to come through real simple, short and sweet. If you do know somebody that is interested in therapy, I do love that we have so many mental health professionals and therapists on social media today, really breaking those barriers down around mental health and wellness. I love being a therapist. I love holding space for my clients. I love seeing them grow, flourish, and really change as far as just perspectives or outlooks or just personal growth and development. So it can really be a beautiful process. I know sometimes as Black and brown people, we don't like people in our business, and we've learned to keep things in the house or in the church and all of these things. And yes, while these things have helped us and protected us while we were in survival mode, the goal is to get out of survival mode and move to a flourishing state of mind, right? And having as many supports as possible is really going to help us do that. And so, like, for example, with self-care, I'll talk about the different domains of wellness. And you have your personal domain, you have your emotional, you have the things that you do psychologically, but then you have the things that you do spiritually, right? And so while, our religion, our spirituality, these things can be a part of our self-care, but it doesn't have to be the whole thing, right? And so having a therapist to talk to is helpful. It is confidential. You have a person that can hold all of your secrets, unless there is a safety concern in which they would have to report. But it's a safe space, again, for you to take off all the armor, all the protection, all the perfectionism, that looking okay but not feeling okay on the inside. It's a space where you can go and really be seen for who you are and really get some answers on your journey and feel that it's okay as you navigate life, right? None of us are perfect. Your therapist is really there as a tool to help you process and navigate. Your therapist may not have all the answers, but they're there to challenge you. They're there to help you think differently. They're there to help hold you accountable as well. And so I want you to just be mindful that therapy is a process, right? You have to work the process. It's two people working on the same goal if you are in individual therapy. So the therapist is not the one doing all the work. You have to do your homework. There may be some habits or lifestyle changes that need to be made on your end as well. Sometimes I feel like a lot of clients come in and they feel like therapy is just a quick fix. It is not. It didn't happen quickly that we became who we are as people. Right? We learned a lot of things growing up. We learned a lot of things from our past and in our relationships and from our environments that make us who we are. And so just being patient with yourself on this journey of wellness, right? Like it's a journey and it keeps going. It doesn't stop. A lot of times people also assume that they're not going to be triggered again once they have healed and they're over the thing. That is not reality. You will continue to be triggered by life. Life will continue to happen. but it won't feel as intense, right? You will have confidence that you can overcome the difficult emotions. And so, the only way out is through. That's why I do recommend that everybody try this process at least once in your life. And just don't give up on the process, and don't give up on yourselves, okay? That's all I got, y'all. Y'all be easy. Have a good weekend. Do something for yourself. If you are celebrating, doing anything for Valentine's Day, have fun. If you're single, do something for yourself. Self-love is the best love, and we really shouldn't be waiting for anybody to do these things for us anyways. So go out, treat yourself, love on yourself, show yourself how it is that you want to be treated, and remind yourself of who you are and where you are in your life. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace and love.